Hello, my wonderful people. How are you guys doing once again today? I trust that you guys are doing very fine, and it's a pleasure to be in your midst once again. Okay, now, like I've always promised, we'll always be there to bring you juicy stories, fresh as they come. So still on the Ooni of Ife's Palace Wahala, I would like to call it Wahala as at now because it's actually looking like big Wahala for the Oni right now. Okay, so the story making the round now concerning Queen Naomi's uncle. Okay, you recall that not too long ago we did a story about the uncle who is a man of God, a pastor, who has decided to come out to speak up. You know, about the ongoing problem between Queen Naomi and the Ooni of Ife. Okay, don't forget that this is one uncle that is, I mean, from what we gather, is a strong disciplinarian. Is a very strict person, and he's this kind of person that stands for justice, fairness, equality, and whatever you want to think of. That brings about fairness. And he has been very quiet for a while, but not until recently when it's like the man has had enough. Okay, and don't forget, is this man that made this comment that with due respect, sir. When somebody won't follow you talk, and you can't start. Excuse me, sorry, I'm still under the weather. Okay, so when someone is having an argument with you, or I mean a conversation, and you hear one party saying with due respect, sir, almost just no say wahala dey front o. So he's the one. Is this uncle that made that a comment to the Oni the last time? Yeah, he started by saying that with due respect, sir, blah blah blah. So before the was now followed, okay. So this same uncle, it is being alleged that he has come up again with fresh. I won't call it attack, but he has. He has spoken to the Oni one more time, and he tried to, for the opportune time, he tried to let the Oni know that look, enough is enough, okay? And the reason why he's saying this is because of the fact that it appears that he got wind of the fact that the Oni once again has approached the revered Deji of Akure, to help talk to Queen Naomi again, to help beg, literally, okay? So it's like this uncle got wind of this, and possibly you will have heard how the Oni has been begging all these years, and each time he finished begging, he relapsed back to his normal self. So we are hearing that he heard the story that. Once again, he has approached the Deji of Akure to help talk to Queen Naomi. Because they feel Naomi is so naive, small girl. Once Deji just calls her, then everything will just be settled. I think the Oni has been doing that in the past, and it has been working. But I think now this uncle is saying enough is enough. And why wouldn't he say that? Because he has taken this whole thing upon himself. Okay? Now, according to what the uncle said is, we gave you our daughter for you to nurture her from adolescence to womanhood. But instead of you appreciating her virginity and purity, you expose her to the brutality of your palace. Omo, this one show cool. You know? And then they said he went on to say, you allow the hawks and the sharks in the palace to rob her of her youthful fragility. Yeah, I think you guys know that Queen Naomi is actually very fragile woman. When I say fragile, I'm using this word. I know what he meant by fragile is that she's a gentle. I mean, she's an epitome of humility, extreme humility. I think this is what the uncle is referring to as fragility. At that age, somebody who is a virgin, very young, has not known much of life, even though she was already a prophetess. So I agree with him that that fragility was there. So he is saying that you allow the hawks. I'm sure you guys know the hawks and the sharks he's referring to in that palace. I wouldn't say more than this, but I'm sure you guys know. He said, you allow the hawks and sharks in the palace to rob her of her youthful fragility. Then he went on to say, she brought you so much joy, comfort, happiness, an unprecedented amount of tranquility in your kingdom. I can attest to this. I remember that time that Queen Naomi was with him. That time represented the best time that I mean, in that palace, because of the calmness, because of the, I mean, the whole community, if Ile-Ife was robust with excitement, with cultural displays, peacefulness, everything good, resonated at that time, just because of the good spirit, I mean, that Queen Naomi brought, because of the ambience, of the ambience that he brought to the kingdom, the peace and everything. Okay, so we are told that the man went on to say, he was alleged to have said, "Why always rush to the days of Akure when all that is needed by you is to be man enough to deal with your family issues." Okay, then he said he went further to reiterate and state unequivocally that their union has irretrievably ended following the efflution of time. Okay, this man sabi BB grammar shao. Okay, what he's trying to say here is that, okay, this their union, has broken down irretrievably long time ago, and I think I agree with him, because this whole back and forth thing did not just start today. And I think he's not making a mistake if he says that it appears that the relationship has broken down completely. I'm sure most of you Queen Naomi fans will agree with his position, okay? And if he's saying that following the efflution of time, that means the time for everything they did that time, whatever it is, has been overtaken by events, time has elapsed, sort of, okay? Then we are told that Queen Naomi's uncle went on to, emphatically state that no amount of begging or cajoling will change the family's unwavering position right now. I think what he's saying here might not be far from the truth, because even me, that is not related to Queen Naomi. I don't come from her village. I'm not even Yoruba, okay? Even though I kind of know much about the Yorubas, their cultures, their ways of life, and the rest, but I'm not even near Yoruba, okay? So, but the thing is, being a keen follower and a fan of Queen Naomi, I have watched with much disdain and much chagrin, all this while that this woman has been going through all this because she was married, or she was, oh yeah, because she was married to the Ooni of Ife. So I think, for me, the position of the family is not a bad one. They have to, rally around this young lady, because she won't be able to make decision for herself. Because at the time we were able told that apparently she too was still in love with this man, and for that I wouldn't blame her, because you see, this love thing is a difficult thing. If you are not in there, if you are not the people involved, you wouldn't know the peculiarity, the intricacies involved, the dynamics, in this whole thing. You won't understand until you yourself, you find yourself in a love triangle that is difficult for you to extricate yourself from that love triangle. Okay. So these things, they do happen. But the feelings we're getting now is that, based on everything that has happened, Queen Naomi herself has made up her mind, enough is enough. Okay. So he went on to say there's little the Deji of Akure can do at the moment. Wow, this is really tough. He went on to say this was a mission whose time has come. Omo, this is not final. Oh. Now, this position may sound very draconian or extreme, but what do you expect, for God's sake? What do you expect? So I'm asking, do you blame this uncle for this tough stand? I'm really asking now, do you blame him? I will probably do worse if I am in his position. And that's me. Okay? Do you think there is a way out for Oni at this time? I'm asking again. I personally don't think so. Yes, I personally don't think so. Now, you listening to me, what do you think? Please leave your comments. I want to know what you think. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you for liking our videos. Thank you for sharing. And most importantly, and most fundamentally, subscribe to this channel. God bless you. I'll be right back.